Hello everyone, and welcome back to AmateurHammer. Just an update for the channel. We are working hard to get our first battle report out for everyone. We had a technical difficulty with the last battle we did, but expect to see that pretty soon after Michael's army showcase. Michael and I talked about it, and we think it'd be best if we introduced everyone to our armies up close and personal by themselves. Just a tip that a friend of mine, Glenn, gave me whenever I was picking my army. He said to make sure that you pick an army that you love. Don't just go for the flavor of the month, whatever's OP at the time, because everything changes in Warhammer. And if you're building and painting an army you love, that time spent will be better. Like I said in the intro video, my favorite faction in 40k is the Orks. They're a very interesting faction. They have a lot of character to them. They're very silly. I love that in the grim dark future of the 41st millennia, they are the comic relief faction. Their technology, it's very interesting that it only works because they believe it does. Their weapons are just bolted together and duct taped together, and somehow they still shoot. Orks have three things that they love: Daka, Krumpen, and going really fast. And that plays into their lore and their clan culture. Going back to what they believe in being what happens, the colors that they paint their weapons and their armor, they paint things red so it'll go faster. They paint blue because it's lucky. And they paint purple so it's stealthy. I love how their hierarchy works, that if you got a weapon in your hand and a big orc behind you telling you which way to go, you have no fear and you charge straight into battle. This is my army here of about 1,000 points. And I played it with Michael one time so far in that battle. That's kind of our extended universe because we couldn't get it recorded. And I actually won that battle. I couldn't believe it. It felt really good to have this army win a game against him because every single time he destroyed me. And I mean, I guess he didn't destroy me. I lost by maybe a point or two, and this time I beat him by 20 points, and I couldn't believe it. Some things that changed is I have a weird boy now. He's probably one of my favorite things that I've painted. He looks really cool. He's a Grey Knight, so he could just use his psychic powers against me, and I couldn't stop him. And he'd be causing mortal wounds left and right, and there was nothing I could do about it. Another thing, since boys are just, their armors, their shirts, this truck helped a lot. To be able to put 10 boys in there, and my weird boy, and my pain boy, and move them up the field, not just 5 inches, but 10, or even 12, I believe. It was just a game changer. He couldn't move through it. It was kind of funny because in the battle, he cut my battle wagon in half. And he didn't really cut it in half, but his Dread Knight one-shot it with one hit. And it was very heartbreaking. But somehow, I still pulled out the win. And that's the thing. I love these vehicles that I painted. They look, I think so. They look like, these three here look like this clan of Orks, which is the Goth clan, made them all and painted them all. My Beast Boy on a Squigosaur, or Beast Boss on a Squigosaur, he is incredibly tanky, and I made a very big error playing Michael, because I got very cocky, and I thought he could do anything, and I charged him right up the middle, and he went from 12 wounds to 4 wounds, and I was scared because I didn't think I'd get to be able to call WAAGH, and somehow I still got him out of there, healed him with my Pain Boy, and managed to pull out the victory. One thing, we're still amateurs like we've said, and watching people play and playing has taught me a lot. I know a lot more about the game now and using cover, especially with my boys and using my vehicles to my advantage. But one thing, my Death Dread was a silent MVP in the battle because whenever I was watching Michael and Manuel play, which y'all haven't met Manuel yet, but he's a Blood Angel player. He loves the Blood Angels. Michael deep striked a bunch of his units behind him, and it was brutal. There was nothing he could do about it. And I was going to paint up Grots to fight in that game, but I knew that if Michael deep striked me, Grots wouldn't be able to hold him off. So I put my Death Dread in the back line, had him hold the objective, and just like I thought he would, he deep striked me, and I turned around, I charged him, and I eviscerated both those squads. Why would you play Orks? If you like, no mucking about, having fun, yelling WAAGH, just endless green tides. One thing I love about playing Orks is Orks dying. It's so fun to take, fistful of Orks off the board because they don't have a save, really. If there's any AP coming at you, you're not saving it. It's just, they have a 6-up. It's not happening. I love how their vehicles have like a Mad Max look to them. I mean, they're really just brutal, and they have these big guns and cannons and things, and it's just insane to look at them all together in unison. As I said earlier, there's different cultures for orcs, and if you play the game, you know what they are. But the main ones are Goth, Evil Sons, Death Skulls, Blood Axes, Snake Bites, and I think there's another one, but I can't think of it right now. And obviously these are Goths. My paint scheme, I originally was going to just paint them all, every clan, and I could change it whenever I want to, but I committed to Goths, and I couldn't be happier. Originally I went very, very detailed for my boys, and painted every single one, a certain color, or like this one for example, I painted his shirt brown, and then a different color brown for the pants, and black for the boots. And it was painstaking. It took hours per boy, and when you got a field, 80 of these, 100 of these, that is not the way. So I changed my mind and went with a more black color scheme for them. And I decided whenever they did something cool, like this guy, there's a story behind him. He, with his slugga, wounded Castian Crow, and I couldn't believe it. Michael couldn't believe it. We were just all dumbstruck. And, that's a cool way to give your boys promotions. You can paint them all one color. And as they do cool things, paint them up. In my army, you have to earn your teeth, and he definitely earned his teeth. But that's why I love orcs. They're just a very interesting army to play. They're a lot of fun, especially as you start to learn how to play and get into the game. And, I think anyone could play orcs. If you just want to have fun, not be too serious, not take yourself too seriously, then I think this is the faction for you. And like I said, y'all, I'm going to wrap it up here. Keep an eye out for Michael's video. We're going to be recording his Grey Knight showcase soon. And keep an eye out for our first battle report. We should have that up soon as well. And until next time, build, paint, play.